The Retroid Pocket 5 is not a comfortable device. If, like me, you like playing PS2 games, GameCube games, N64 games, any games on a system that heavily uses the left joystick. There it is. Now, if you're going to use this thing for older consoles, maybe the PS1, maybe the Super Nintendo, if that's why you're going to use this thing, you've got the D-pad for that and it's on top where you want it to be. That doesn't matter. I'm appealing to the PS2 players because that's why I bought this thing. I bought myself a 3D printed grip. In this video, I'll show you some before and after gameplay experiences with games that heavily use specifically the left joystick. One of them also uses the right. I'll show you what it looks like, how to apply it, and whether or not ultimately it's a worthwhile investment. These are what I went for. Now, these cost $9.99 on Amazon. They're 3D printed, no idea who the seller was, they were just on there, and it was $1.99 delivery. It comes in two pieces. A lot of these 3D prints come in one solid piece, which is possibly more secure. But this is in two, which I knew. It comes in different colours. I went for black because my console's black. Now, I don't know much about 3D printing, but it looks to me as if some of the edge in here isn't quite finished or flush, because it just looks untidy. You've got some lines on there. It feels like it could do with, I dare say, a bit of sanding. But I really don't know enough about 3D printing as to whether or not this is a good print. It doesn't feel great, but it does fit the console and it kind of does the job. You've got these perforated hole kind of things here, these hexagons. I guess that's just for grip as opposed to functionality, like a fan having holes for air, because there's nothing on that side of the console. And what it does is it uses these little nubs here. So these little nubs go into the nubs, so that would go into there in these little screw nubs here. So it does fit in nice and secure, but does it improve the gameplay? Does it allow you to play for longer periods on those games, as I say, that heavily require the use of a joystick, specifically the left one? So in this first clip, I'm playing Need for Speed Underground 2 without the grip. And when I say it's uncomfortable to hold, I do mean it. I'll show you in a minute when I get the grip on the console. You can see my fingers. They're almost doing that posh thing when you drink a cup of tea and your little pinky sticks out. I don't know why, but when I hold it like this, I have to sort of hold it delicately in my thumb and my ring finger and my little finger. And my two indexes just point to the sky. I don't know why, but they just do. How breathtaking does this game look on here, by the way? The settings I'm using for this are OpenGL and 2x native resolution, if you're interested. Such a fun game, but because it relies so heavily on that left joystick to steer, which is kind of important in a racing game, you do find yourself holding it in this sort of weird position, and after a couple of races your hand is going to get cramped, I guarantee it. And God of War is even harder because not only do you use the left stick, but the right stick is needed to jump or strafe from left to right, forward and back, whatever you call it, to do that rolling over thing that Kratos does. And my right finger on this one is possibly a bit more tucked down because of using the bumpers, the same with the left. But overall, it's just not great. I've tried to play this when I've waited in a waiting room, for gymnastics for my daughter, and I just can't get to grips with it for more than 10 minutes because you always find yourself readjusting your hand position, especially for that left hand joystick, because it just doesn't, even though they're whole joysticks, it's just not comfortable. So this is a prime example of when you need both joysticks and it's just not great for the hand position. So now you've seen it without the grip, let's put the grip on. It's as simple as this. You place it in here and it clips in to the top. And you do that on both sides. So that little nub there has got the imprint in it, as I mentioned earlier, and you do the same for the other side and it just clips in like that. And then you hold it like this. Immediately, it feels bulkier. It feels comfier. It's not life-changingly different, but it does feel like you could use the joysticks without getting too much fatigue or cramping in your fingers. And that's what we want, right? We want to be able to sit down and play this for an extended period of time if the game doesn't use the D-pads for moving around and it uses the left joystick. So let's have a look what that looks like in real time. Now we have the grip on, and immediately my pinkies have come home. Here's a quick before and after. You'll see that without the grip, my index finger is doing goodness knows what. But now with the grip, it's a far more natural, familiar and comfortable position. It's not that different as far as how low your hands are, but because you've got something to grip and actually caress, I guess, with your hands, it just makes it so much bulkier, makes it comfier. And with a game like this, where you don't really need the joystick apart from doing the nitrous, which I think is L1, you can really hold it quite far down, keep your thumb on the buttons on the right hand side, and your left thumb on that left joystick. It's night and day with this, let me tell you. It makes the game so much more fun, so much more enjoyable, because you're spending more time concentrating on the game rather than worrying about where your hand is. And with God of War, let me tell you, this one is also night and day, because that right hand, as you can see my index fingers come down again, it's just comfier. It's far comfier. It's not life-changing. It's not. But for the sake of a tenner, right, this thing will make this console feel worth the money you've paid for it. If you were umming and ahhing about getting this or the Odin 2 and you went for this and you regret it, that's the situation I'm in. This kind of, it bulks it up, it makes it less portable, I guess, but if you can enjoy playing it better, I know I'm not great at this game or any game, but if you enjoy playing it, you can lie in bed and play it comfortably now because you've got something for the sake of a tenner that's 3D printed, I'm all for it. Go for it. You won't regret it. And there you have it, a 3D grip for the Retroid Pocket 5. I don't believe they have their own grip for whatever reason. Feel like they could make quite a bit of money off that. But yeah, it does the trick for a tenner. What do you think? Worthwhile investment? Or should you just get something like the Odin 2 that has a left joystick on top? For a tenner, get yourself a grip. My opinion, it is a bit of a game changer. It does feel better. If you gained any value from this video or you enjoyed it, you thought I was entertaining, I'm Stu the Yorkshire Retro Gamer. You know what to do. Give me a like, share the video, leave a comment, I love hearing from you. And if you've got any video ideas, anything you'd like me to make, please let me know, I'll do my best to accommodate. Until the next time I see you, cheerio.